welcome back to the Hearthstone Legendary Season 2 LAN Finals. Once again, my name is TJ Osmond Sanders, and I'm joined by Keaton, the Big Sock Chalk Gill, and Jimmy, Le Firebat Costastitch. How you guys doing?
Doing great.
Good. Glad to hear it. That was a pretty good match that we just saw, but we're moments away from jumping into the winner's match of Group A, which is going to be Demigod versus Koyuki. Before we do that, we'd like to take one look at what we've seen so far today for those of you guys who are just now joining us. In the first matchup of the day, we saw Demigod take out Trump, and then recently we just saw Koyuki take a victory over Akabi in that second match. So we're going to move into the winner's match, then the loser's match, then we're going to round out Group A here in a little bit. But Demigod versus Koyuki coming up next. Firebat, which one of these guys had the best deck list, do you think?
I really like Demigod's lineup, how he designed it to counter Hunter, and it seems to be working out for him because both of his opponents so far are going to have a Hunter. So if his lineup's able to work as intended, then he should be able to bully Koyuki's Hunter out of the match.
All right, Chalky, I need your predictions. Who's going to come out of Group A in first place?
You know, I think lineup-wise, I agree with Firebat. I actually really like Demigod's chances here. His Freeze Mage should line up pretty well. I mean, Koyuki's third deck is Rogue. Doesn't have a great Freeze Mage matchup. I mean, he has the heal bot, but don't know if that'll quite be enough. I think Koyuki definitely has experience on his side, though.
All right, well, you can see the deck list once again on your screen there. I was talking to Demigod on the couch a little bit in between the matches, and he told me that he was targeting Handlock with his deck lineup.
Wow.
So he wasn't even, he was like, oh, my decks are good against Hunter? Cool. What? I was targeting Handlock.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a lucky coincidence then for him.
I know, right? Because Handlock and Hunter are probably going to be pretty popular throughout the day.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when we get into the later groups with players like Life Coach, who's definitely known for Handlock.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, well, the self-proclaimed best player in Hawaii. Also, the me-proclaiming best Kel'Thuzad impression in Hawaii.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah.
Until you get your way over to Hawaii, of course.
I don't even know what he says. I'm going to look up Kel'Thuzad's quote and just try and one-up Demigod. And then I'm going to go Hawaii, live there long enough to be considered a resident, just so I can take the crown of best Kel'Thuzad impression in Hawaii.
Nice.
You know what, TJ? You would.
I would. That is something that I would do. All right, well, we're jumping into the first match here. Demigod with that Control Warrior versus Koyuki with the Grim Patron Warrior. Firebat, you were talking a little bit about this matchup earlier, and you said you think Grim Patron Warrior is favored, which is an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I tend to think if you play Grim Patron Warrior correctly, you should be able to be favored. The Warrior doesn't really pressure you enough to cause any threat, and it just gives you enough time to set up for your draw combos, which then set up into your damage combos, which then kill the opposing Control Warrior.
Yeah, I feel like one thing a lot of people might screw up is going all in too much and losing to stuff like Brawl, rather than being a little more patient, like Firebat said, for your draw spells, especially Battle Rage. Like, if you can draw a bunch off that, the Warrior's not going to, be in any rush to kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're able to then draw, then Brawl isn't even a threat anymore, because then you can immediately reload the board again after the Brawl.
A lot of weapons in the opening hand of Koyuki, and Despite is probably one of the key cards.
Despite's great. 2 Fiery War Axes, however, not really what you want to see in this matchup.
Yeah, Fiery War Axe is really pretty useless against Control Warrior. It kills like Acolyte of Pain, and like that's about it. Looks like he's going to commit to 2 charges killing this Armor's Myth, I guess.
Yeah. Might play the Acolyte and leave it there next turn.
Okay, I could see that.
The Harrison Jones.
Yeah, that'll be important.
Yeah.
But it'll be really interesting to see how he uses it, because you almost always want to be patient and use it at a very critical turn where the weapon matters.
Yeah. A lot of other classes, you can pretty much take out the weapon. Like against Paladin, you can just use it on a Light's Justice, even though it's not that big of a deal of a weapon, just for the card draw.
Yep.
But this matchup, it's like, you want to use it for the Despite where you know they're setting up patrons, or you know they're setting up a kill.
Definitely. Alright, it does look like he is playing the Acolyte and just going face, trying to set up a favorable trade on board. He's going to get kind of punished here by the Despite just picking off the Acolyte.
Yeah, this feels like he wants to Despite maybe next turn, set up the turn 5 Patron. But as we talked about, It almost seems better to go slower in this matchup rather than just going for it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Demigod actually is he has the Dragon Warrior. He runs the Nefarian, Ysera, and Alexstrasza along with the Blackwing Corruptors.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised to see the Blackwing Corruptors in there, but if you can enable them, they're very powerful.
Not a fan of the Dragon Warrior, Chalky?
I like the dragons themselves, the legendaries.
I think we're going to see Harrison Jones here. He doesn't have a brawl, so he doesn't have a really good way to deal with if it was some sort of like patron and coin whirlwind and then swing.
Yep, he would be dead to patrons, so
yeah,
cannot risk that.
If he had a way to deal with it, obviously then he could hold on to it, but he just doesn't.
Koyuki looks pretty unfazed by that though, but definitely not happy to see it.
I think he's a pretty calm guy overall.
Yeah, really calm. He's like never really made too many facial expressions, and we've been watching him for quite a while.
Did you see him holding that sword in the video?
No, I didn't.
Just, I don't know. No expressions.
No expressions?
That made it that much scarier and
Wow.
intimidating. Yeah.
Because you can't make any reads on him. He's got no emotion.
No.
Yeah. You don't know what he's going to do with that sword.
Nope.
Or that axe. Could go face, you never know.
Could be a rogue axe.
That axe.
Alright, he's saving the Acolyte of Pain for 2 draws here instead of just throwing it out there for the 1. So I think that means after his Deathbite got Harrison Jones, now he's switching gears here. He's going to take the matchup a little bit slower.
He was willing to go for a very aggressive line if that's what seemed best, but obviously the Harrison very much countered that.
Yeah, so now he's switching gears here on it.
So what are you looking for here as the Control Warrior player? Are you just trying to like stall the game out until you can burst him down? Or is there a point where you can sort of start being aggressive?
You always need to be pressuring like a little bit. If you're not pressuring at all and you're just letting them just constantly armor pass, then eventually they're going to get their draw spell, and then they're going to have all the cards in the world, all the answers, and they're going to run you over. So you have to be pressuring. So I think it's much better to just get your 6 drops in the mid game and have a clear board and play 6 drops.
Yep.
Yeah, it can be a pretty big mistake sometimes for people to just take things super slow and just think that they can stall it out as if they were a face hunter. But the Frothing Berserker combo in the late game will almost always kill you.
Yeah.
So I like this play. He clears off the Armor Smith to play around Execute, which is going to force Koyuki to take like 5 base damage if he wants to execute it, or use one of his Whirlwind effects, which are extremely crucial.
Yep. He could get a draw off the Whirlwind this turn though.
Yeah, but there's only so many Whirlwind effects in your deck, and that is your damage point.
Yeah,
That's
he's
what's gonna allow
already
you to
used
kill him.
the Deathbite.
Yeah.
This would be the first Whirlwind, and to our knowledge, he'd probably have 2 Whirlwinds left after that.
Yeah, just the second Deathbite Whirlwind and the second actual Whirlwind.
And he didn't get to choose when he used the Death by Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Because we got Harrison Jones, so it's kind of like he's -1. He didn't get any value out of that whatsoever. His board was just completely empty. So
Yeah, I think the nightmare here for Koyuki is you just don't draw into more draw. That's really what he's wanting, is just not actual cards. He just wants to draw.
yeah.
That's a pretty good draw there. He can Cruel Taskmaster for that extra card and then coin out the Execute.
So I've looked at a lot of Grim Patron Warrior lists that actually only run 1 Cruel Taskmaster. Is it like a clunky card? What's the reason behind this?
Yeah, it's much clunkier than Inner Rage, and Inner Rage has been the common replacement for it. So a lot of people have been playing 2 Inner Rages, so you can get those crazy Patron turns on turn 5 where you have the Deathbite equipped, and then you play Patron, then you Inner Rage it, so there's 2 on the board, and then you swing, and now there's 4.
Whoa.
Yeah, can't do that with Cruel Taskmaster.
Dragongeddon's pretty perfect here. It fulfills the pressure we were talking about. It's 7 damage, and it's not like the warrior can easily clear it, and it just clears the board.
Yeah, very solid. Yeah, Demigod looks like he's in a pretty commanding position.
Oh.
With the tech shield block,
Wow.
shield slam combination,
Coming in handy.
he's got him.
Even if he didn't have the first one, he draws into the second.
Yeah, without any Whirlwinds, there might be merit to playing a Frothing Berserker here, but it is very easily answerable from Control Warrior.
Yeah.
It's starting to run out of like options to make a big board here. He's using the Frothing Berserker, but he's not using it in a turn where he's putting on a lot of bursts. It's just, it's a 3/4. Look, it's a Spider Tank right now.
Yeah.
And since he's used 2 of his Whirlwind effects, and His hand is pretty much just, all it is one of those Frothing Berserkers, one of those Grim Patrons. If Demigod gets into a position where he can start armoring up consistently and is not under any pressure, then this game could get out of hand for Koyuki pretty quickly.
Yeah, the Shield Slam, it was a really efficient answer, but this deck isn't really about answering.
Wow, he's going to take initiative with Ysera here.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't, like, Shield Maiden, Shield Slam seemed like a much more, you know, obvious and defensive play, but...
Well, he needs an answer for Emperor as well. So if he just Shield Maiden, Shield Slams, then Emperor plus the other Shield Slam from Koyuki could be...
The other Shield Slam, man.
Well, if they're running one, they're running
probably
two.
running two.
Yeah.
Yep, and he happens to have the second one. Ysera's not getting answered.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's for sure.
Needs to be executed. Yeah, I like the aggressive line from Demigod here. It really puts on pressure, because that extra Ysera card every turn is going to be really, really huge.
Yeah. If you're Koyuki, you can just hope that he gets 10 Laughing Sisters in a row.
Yeah, you can hope. Can you kill 10 Laughing Sisters, though?
Actually, Laughing Sisters get exponentially better the more you have.
Yeah.
So, like, the first card, okay, Laughing Sister.
I
That's
like how
the
you
worst
thought
card.
about this.
But, like, 4 Laughing Sisters, 5 Laughing
Exponential.
Sisters.
Yeah, like you can't do anything.
Like, once
against
you put
that.
the 5th Laughing Sister on the board, it's like, okay, I give up, I lose.
Wow.
All right, I like
And-
this line.
Yeah, this is it. He's like, if I'm going to win this game, we're going now.
Yeah, he's got to race him immediately. So that is a really good identification, I guess, of what the board state is and figuring out what to do there.
Yeah.
And I think now he really regrets throwing out that Frothing. It's going to get in 3 and no more. Whereas with the Whirlwind effects, it would get a lot more.
Yeah. All right, so how much damage does he actually have next turn? If he just has Death Spite, Grim Patron, and the Frothing Berserker with throwing...
Well, he can't play all of them.
yeah.
So he needs to draw like Emperor first. And I definitely don't think he has 24. He
Or
would
like-
need 20 from the minions, which is not happening.
Yeah.
Demigod also has the opportunity to potentially dream back his own Shield Maiden and play it again for
Oh.
another 5
Yep.
life.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
he can play Armor Smith, Cruel Task, stuff like that. Gain
There's the
more life.
Emperor you needed.
Yep. So I think the nuts here is you Emperor, next turn you draw Whirlwind.
Yeah.
Seems to be about the best you can get.
That's the plan for Koyuki.
That's the plan.
Yep. So, he's going to Shield Slam that.
See if it works out.
But Shield Slamming that actually subtracts 1 damage for him.
Yeah, but it threatens to have
Yeah.
a 5/5 potentially. That's not going to happen. We know there's a Shield Slam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be kind of desperation times for Koyuki here.
So if Koyuki gets the Whirlwind off the top, can he potentially have enough damage?
That would be a lot of patrons. That'd be
Four
4.
four patrons.
That's
and
12.
Yeah. And the Whirlwind.
16.
And then 6 creatures on his
Yeah.
side, 2 on the other side, so
I-
plus 8 on the Frothing
Wait.
Berserker.
The Frothing
I think
gives
that would
different,
do it.
different amounts each Whirlwind.
Because
though.
that's 18 from your minions and then 2 Whirlwinds for the Frothing effect, which would just need to be 8, which I think you easily get with this.
Well, the first Whirlwind is only 5, and then
Yeah,
the second
that's true.
Whirlwind is 5, 6.
Yeah, which is above 8, so.
Yeah.
And
Battle Rage.
Battle Rage is going to be really nice. You know,
Yeah.
if he draws Inner Rages here,
Yeah, that'd be
2
big.
Inner
That-
Rages.
2 Inner Rages would do it, I think.
All right. Let's see what happens. So
You
he's
go
gonna
face
Yeah,
first.
you
Yeah.
have to swing face
Yeah,
with the
you
Death
just-
Spite.
Come on,
Swing
man.
for the fences, Koyuki.
Spork.
All right.
Here we
He's
go.
found the path.
Inner Rage is the draw here.
Can he do it?
We think he needs 2.
We're not totally
Good old
sure.
caster math.
Yeah, yeah.
But Battle Rage number 2 is not going to do it.
It's
4
around
cards?
2.
Ouch, nothing.
Nothing.
And that's the last of the Frothings and the first of the patrons, but
He's thinking if he goes face, he might just be dead, but I don't think he really has
yeah,
a
what else
choice.
do you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is dead. We know there's a Grom Taskmaster on the other side.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, unless Koyuki decides to trade.
Yeah, I mean, he could trade both the patrons.
Ooh.
Hey.
Trade that way.
Ouch.
That's going to be not very much
So he's
damage
going for
coming
the patron out here rather
Yeah.
than the giant Frothing.
Yeah, because both his Frothing Berserkers are now gone, so...
The issue is Demigod hasn't really run out of resources whatsoever.
in. Yeah.
Oh, the Emerald Drake Blackwing Corruptor synergy.
Dragon Warrior indeed.
Yeah. Ysera's double the dragons.
Wow. He's going to be able to kill both the patrons, or he can kill the Warsong Commander. He's got options.
Can also just dream to get rid of one of them.
Yeah, you can dream one of the patrons and then kill the Warsong Commander. I like that better. Yeah.
There's just so many ways that you can just play this and still win, regardless of what Koyuki has.
Koyuki, like, with both frothings down, you can't be too afraid now.
Yeah.
Like, how much space is there on the board? Okay, that's how much damage you can do with Grim Patron.
Yeah, you should still definitely kill that Warsong Commander, because that guy is scary.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
This makes sense. So
Wait,
you miss out on some armor, but you deny him
a card.
the patron back.
Yeah. I don't mind it.
Yeah, 16's really safe when you know your opponent. I mean, he'd have to have Warsong Commander, second patron, in a range. Like, just ridiculous stuff you know he doesn't have.
Yeah.
I mean, he could Grom you first and then draw that stuff.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We actually haven't seen Grom out of Koyuki's deck, and he only has 6 left.
Wow. Maybe he doesn't run Grom.
There's a lot of
It's
variations.
a potential. We have seen this is a really fast list. He had to have cut something for Shield Block, Shield Slam.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's very true, since the Shield Block, Shield Slam.
And just like regular Slam is in there too. So.
Yeah.
No Grom would be kind of interesting.
It would mean that he's more reliant on the bigger combos,
on the combo he already
which
spent.
he already used.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And at this point, if you're Demigod, you're almost just like getting information.
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to win. Koyuki has to win with this patron deck.
Yeah.
And if you get information like no Grom,
Yeah, that's huge.
that's really big.
It's sort of like the opposite of the old Last Hero Standing,
Yep.
where it would be more beneficial for the winner to conceal information. Here, if you think you're going to lose the match, you might want to concede, especially if you're running a deck that's a little bit different, to try and conceal information.
Yeah, I know a lot of players, especially at live events,
Yeah.
you really don't like to just concede. It just feels kind of wrong.
Yeah.
But
Sometimes it's right.
sometimes it's actually correct.
Set yourself up for more success later in the tournament. Let's go with the Style Nefarian here.
The Style Nefarian.
I don't know. I think
I'm really concerned that his cursor is over that in-turn
Yeah.
button.
That's a bad place to rest your cursor.
Yeah, definitely. Emerald Drake coming down. Oh, just playing all the Ysera cards.
There is trouble.
Yep.
It's a lot of trouble.
It's going to be
for
more
Koyuki.
trouble if more Laughing Sisters start coming to the party.
Yeah, too bad Ysera's gone.
Too bad.
Too bad.
This is just a rough hand.
Yeah,
I mean,
does Koyuki even have... Koyuki has a patron left, right?
Yeah.
2 cards left. That's it.
2?
One of them's patron.
Koyuki
Really?
has 2 cards remaining.
So I would say it's an inner rage and a patron.
Yeah.
I think with the fast list, you almost always run 2 inner rage.
Like, does he... Like, he has enough damage if Demigod just went AFK and didn't do anything for the rest of the game.
That's true.
Yeah. But that's it.
Good call.
That's the only way, it seems. Because right now, even if he threw everything out on the board and went all in, he'd still only be able to do, what, 7 damage?
If he's able to get the patron plus inner rage is 8.
Yeah.
And then if it's the other inner rage, then it's another 5 on top of that.
Yep.
13.
So 13 damage.
But
That's
he's
not
dead.
enough. Yeah, and he's dead.
Demigod did not AFK.
Nope.
No, no.
Glad to see it. And Demigod throws out the well played. He's going to take game number 1 over Koyuki.
So there was a point in that game where Koyuki was on a draw to win.
Yeah.
And it looked like a dominant game from the Control Warrior.
Yeah. With that Battle Rage, if he had picked up, like, double Inner Rage,
Yep.
he would have won.
Yeah.
I believe.
We think.
He was around the area of winning.
I know the Whirlwind off the top would have done
Yeah,
it.
Whirlwind top would have been enough.
It was within probably 10 points of damage of winning. So
something
like that.
we'll just go ahead and say it was.
Sure.
All right, well, he's still got the Freeze Mage left to find a victory with, and, of course, the Paladin to find a victory with.
Yeah.
I don't think Patron Warrior is going to have a hard time up against either of those decks.
Right.
We saw the Freeze Mage had extra freezes and less things that kill people, so not very effective against
not
Patron
good against Warrior.
Yeah, you really need to kill him at some point.
Yep. I think Malagos is a card that a lot of pros have thought is really good against Patron Warrior.
Yeah.
Gives you that extra reach you need to get through all the armor.
Yeah, exactly. Because they only run 2 executes in Patron Warrior.
Yeah.
So
that's all their removal. Usually.
They execute like Alex, and then they execute Antonitis, and nobody's thinking about Malagos, and you drop that guy on the table, and then you hit him for 100.
Yeah, Koyuki had shield slams.
100.
So.
Yeah, just the standard, like Frostbolt, Ice Lance, Fireball, whatever.
Roughly 100 damage.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, if the world champion says it's 100 damage.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably
We
a
have to trust
combination
him.
of cards with Emperor that makes it 100 damage.
Yeah. I'll agree
Sure.
with you.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know enough to refute it, so I'm just going to go ahead and try and...
I think the
Trust
Warrior
you.
deck, Patron Warrior, can do 100.
Yeah, Patron Warrior can do 100 too. Huh.
So you think it's good for Koyuki to just throw out the Patron Warrior once again?
Yeah.
I
I wouldn't be surprised if he does.
You can random, but at this point, Patron Warrior has 2 good matchups in front of it.
Yeah.
Information's not a huge deal at this point, and Koyuki agrees. He's just going to throw it out there.
I believe this is a heavily Patron Warrior favored matchup. Paladin is often really susceptible to things like Whirlwind, which Patron Warrior happens to run 4 of, basically.
Yeah.
So
I didn't see anything in Demigod's Paladin list that really struck me as like, this is going to help the Patron matchup so much.
yeah, it's
So,
no Azure Drake.
Yeah, or Blood Mage Thalnos was
Yeah.
a
Blood
card
Mage
that
Thalnos is
people
actually-
were playing with to try and get the 6-mana Blood Mage Thalnos concert combination, which
Yeah.
effectively clears Patron boards.
even just 2 equalities, but
Yeah, the thing about Paladin with Equality is you don't actually need the finisher of Equality to deal with patrons, really. You can just Equality, and then they can't replicate anymore.
That's true. That's
So
very
they're
true.
just sitting there with a bunch of 3/1s.
yeah.
So it can kind of work out sometimes, but you do take a lot of damage, so you're going to need some heals with that. But
Yeah. I think one of the main issues is even if you clear everything they have to offer, how do you play around Frothings? Like,
yeah, exactly. 'cause
because Paladin doesn't pressure enough. They just draw their whole deck. Koyuki's playing a lot of draw. He drew 29 cards that last match. Like,
Yeah. He's going to get into those combos that hit for
It's
like
going to be rough.
30.
Well, there you have it. Double equality being
Yep.
run by Demigod. So probably a good tech choice for what he's seeing. This sort of is a point towards when I was talking to him earlier. He said, "Oh, his lineup is definitely good against handlock. Double equality is fantastic against handlock."
So
Yeah, really fantastic.
one of those last 2 cards was a no mission winner, by the way.
Whoa.
And the other one had to be a Grim Patron.
Yeah.
So 1 Inner Rage in this list.
1 Inner Rage, no Grom.
No Grom.
Interesting.
Very
Intense.
interesting.
A lot of cycle. Really looking for those combos.
It sort of brings me back to, I believe it was Chalky playing against Chang in one of the Legendary Series weeks where he was
Yeah.
playing a heavy, like a miracle
Yep.
Grand Patron Warrior where he ran Azure Drakes, Gnomish Inventors, pretty much shield blocks, all draw and all in a combos. In the last like 10 turns of the game, all Chalky did was just pass his turn. Armor pass, armor
The
pass.
combo did 46 damage.
Yeah.
So
he just made sure he stayed above that, and eventually he won because he just didn't have enough. So
yeah, crazy match.
yeah.
Interesting.
Lots of heal in this Paladin. I've heard some of the players that did some research saying Demigod plays what they call Healadin. So maybe like a Guardian of Kings in this list as well.
Yeah.
Lots of heals.
What about double lay on hands?
I think it's more double Healbot, 1 lay on hands.
Yeah, you can't really do much with the land hands in the same turn. Like
Yeah.
it heals you for a lot, sure, and then you have 2 mana left. So what are
Yeah.
you gonna do?
So like we talked about, I mean, the War Song and the Double Frothing's already there. And the Gnomish is going to keep him drawing.
Oh, do you play the frothing here?
Yeah, this is something that your teammate Zlay always talks about. Like, you have to kind of know when to play it as a unit versus when to use it as a combo. And to me, this feels kind of like a turn you might save it because it easily dies to coin True Silver.
Yeah, I like it. I like saving it.
Koyuki agrees, so he's going to have a lot of combo damage later.
Yeah, the downside is though now he doesn't have to coin True Silver. Now he can coin Piloted Shredder.
Yep.
And guess what? He's following another Piloted Shredder right after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's a lot of pressure really quick.
Yeah, this is actually probably ideal for the Paladin. We've talked about how Piloted Shredder is one of the best cards against Warrior.
Yeah, and Koyuki does not have a weapon here to sort of react.
Yep.
So he's got this Shield Slam, but nothing really to follow that up.
Could slam it.
He's still committing
So
to
we're
holding
committed
on,
to the
yeah.
armor, yep.
Wow.
So if he can live, then the the Warsong Commander Grim Patron is going to be huge in retaking this board.
Yeah, he has to be able to live, though. And Demigod drawing a Zombie Chow is not going to help with his aggression push.
No, not at all.
This is
Seal
where
of Light, perhaps, though.
Yeah, this is where the heal it in part doesn't help when your opponent's the one you have to kill.
Yeah.
Like, they're not trying to kill you. They're just like, okay, kill me.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I can't really heal you to death.
Yeah. And the longer you sit back and just wait, the more afraid that you get for big combos. Especially as a paladin, at what point do you say, well, using my hero power is sort of a liability?
Yeah. That definitely becomes a problem later in the game.
Yeah, at this point, though, you need it. You need to have that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What now?
So, do you think that he starts trying to play these guys as creatures, or just keep with the drawn armor?
So you could shield slam the Shredder, which looks like what he's going to do. Leaves you with enough mana to slam if you want. So like if he got some ridiculous 2-drop, which it looks like a 3/2 is going to be good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a recombobulator.
But if he got like a Whirling Zap-O-Matic, you're not
Yeah.
dead. You just slam it. Knife Juggler is another really high damage one.
Belcher is a huge draw here to just keep up the pressure. It's really important that he can just constantly keep drawing on turf and keeping up pressure.
I just find it hilarious, all this pressure talk. Warriors at 31. And Emperor is the best draw in the deck here.
Yeah, you want to hit.
That's easily the best draw.
You want to hit your Frothings and you want to hit your Warsong Commander.
And he hit all three.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe even a Grim Patron or two.
yeah,
Look at
that's
that! Oh,
pretty
he's 4.
So, heart of the cards with Koyuki here, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you guys were talking earlier. He plays a lot of different card games.
Yeah,
Pretty much all of them.
He's played his fair share of cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very good of him saving that Frothing. We saw he thought about that a lot on turn 3, and it looks like it's going to pay off for him because the Paladin is just not able to pressure him enough to make anything happen here. Even with double Shredder and Belcher.
Yep. It kind of punished him last game. He used a Frothing as a unit, and it got him 3 damage.
Yeah.
And that's not what you want out of that card. You want like 20.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he does take 5 from the Emperor, but he has a lot of heals. And this is the point you were talking about, TJ, where do you press that button?
Yeah, I know.
he's
It's
thinking.
getting to that point. On
Do you want that 1/1?
turn 7, he played Emperor Thorstein. I don't think you do, because what if he is able to clear off the Sludge Belcher? He can attack. Everything has less than 3 attacks. So
Yeah, so
He
it
got
could be
a quality
like,
Consecrate to follow it, though.
yeah, could be Warsong into Inner Rage Patron.
yeah.
That clears your whole board and leaves a bunch of patrons.
So he holds off.
Yeah. Ooh,
Wow.
that's good.
That's a scary hand.
Yeah, that's a lot of
That's
damage.
like one more Whirlwind effect, and that's like lethal.
That's at
Yeah.
least 4 damage in his hand.
At least.
For sure.
Yeah.
And execute to get through something. So it's... Do you just develop the Death Bite here? Are you afraid of, like, Harrison Jones?
I think you definitely attack.
Yeah, you attack that.
Yeah.
Even if it gets Harrison Jones, still, it's the Belcher.
Still kills the Belcher.
Still start throwing things into
He'd
the
probably run the
one-attack
Belcher
stuff.
in first, but
Emperor's not a bad draw.
yeah, but the problem is it's not reducing warrior cards, it's reducing paladin cards.
Yeah.
Like, he can already almost play most of his hand.
Yeah, his hand's not great.
No.
Yeah. Dr. Boom would have been better. Something like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Dr. Boom on 7's pretty good.
Justice.
So I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna go for the Emperor though. I mean, it's what he has.
Yeah, I mean, nothing else is good.
Do you play Zombie Chow?
I don't think
Or
you're
are you
ever...
committed to never playing it?
I think you're just committed to that's just never hitting the table. It's not meant for this matchup.
Yep.
I'm curious what the Seal of Light is put in for. Like, is it for hunters to, like, pick off, like, a Knife Juggler or something?
Apparently, it's for handlock.
Well, it does add a small amount of burst.
Yeah, that's surprise 2 damage. Because everyone plays
Yeah.
around 6 damage from
Yep.
Paladin, and then you just sneak in there with that Seal of Light.
Yeah.
I have True Silver Consecrate. Seal of Light, gotcha!
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
Even more
is,
damage.
like I said, we're like a whirlwind effect away from lethal.
Wait, maybe he
And
has it.
is this?
Is this lethal? I didn't count.
I don't think it is.
But he's got the cool task though. It charges.
So he's gonna
kills
get
the slime.
7 each. Or no, is he gonna go face? Yeah, he should go face with the
Yeah,
weapon.
he trades
right?
that and then goes face with the weapon. So
And that's 6 each.
yeah, 60. Oh, no,
Nope,
he's killing
it's not
Emperor.
lethal. Okay.
Interesting.
Didn't think so.
That's how I play Grim Patron Warrior. I usually count about halfway,
Wait,
and then I wait to see if my second guy has the
was
skill
that
effect.
was lethal, right?
Uh,
That's 6 each. That's 12 each. That's 24. So if he went face, he would have won.
that's an interesting play.
Koyuki's not happy
knows.
with himself.
I think under the same circumstances, the board was exactly the same. I would have lethaled him there. I think that would have been a better line. But
So wait a second. Okay. Normally that's not a big deal. You're like, okay, kill him next turn. But
he's got no damage in hand.
Quality Consecrate.
Seal,
Seal
of
of
Light!
Light!
Seal of Light!
Oh my goodness!
It's why it's here.
It's happening.
And then he can follow that up with Guardian Kings. It's like the Guardian of
that-
Kings primer.
That's the play. And Koyuki is just
That's
not happy
rough.
whatsoever.
He even took off his glasses. I've never seen him without his glasses.
Like, we're talking about how calm he is, but when
Yeah.
you make a huge mistake like that
Yeah.
Yeah.
in this type of circumstance, and now
Yeah.
look,
Good thing the sword is nowhere near him this time.
he's at 7.
Yeah. It's rough when you make mistakes.
I think you just play out stuff here.
Yeah, you just pressure.
You play BGH, maybe. Yeah,
Well, BGH dies to slam. I'd go with Aldor.
I'd go with BGH.
Well, they can slam.
You can't kill him with armor up anyway.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know. I've made huge mistakes like that before. We've all done
Yeah.
it. It's really rough. It just happens. Like sometimes little things skip your mind.
Yeah.
So it's nothing on Koyuki. It's just tough. And it's going to show how much of a player he is if he's able to push through it
Yeah.
and overcome it.
Yeah, he played pretty quickly. He might have been thinking that, oh, I can just throw damage in wherever and not have to actually sit down and count this exactly. But
Yeah.
I think his best chance might be to draw Warsong next turn, the second one in his deck. Because if you Grim Patron here, you concede.
yeah,
You're not going to win.
yeah, he should definitely try his hardest to do that.
I think you press the button and you pass. And it's a 1 in 17, down from a 100% chance to win the game.
Not quite the best odds for him now.
Yeah. And we talked about wins that mean a lot and wins that don't mean so much. This is a win that means a lot.
Yeah, this means a lot.
Like, Paladin is not going to win every game.
Yeah, Paladin is probably the weakest against Koyuki's lineup because Koyuki has the Rogue and the Patron Warrior.
Yeah, Koyuki gonna throw out that Inner Rage. So now going for a long game, I guess. And
Oh, Tyrion off the
Tyrion, Guardian of Kings, either one.
Yeah.
Put an end to that.
top. Yeah, I like Tyrion.
And this is the nightmare for Koyuki.
Telling Koyuki to put his face in the light.
He's going to
this-
set up lethal with the Zombie Chow.
Yep.
It is actually getting
Oh
played
my
this
gosh.
game.
There we go. All right,
What
the
a nightmare.
concede comes out, and after a miss lethal, Koyuki is going to fall in game number 2. Now he's on the ropes. He's down 2-0.
Yeah.
Somewhere out in the crowd, there's a man crying justice.
Oh, man.
For all my anti-Grim Patron Warrior brothers out there.
Oh,
Oh.
man.
All right, well, the only deck that Demigod still has to win with is that Freeze Mage. He's given himself 3 opportunities now, picking up 2 victories here.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Koyuki has to win with Warrior, not too hard. Hunter, not the hardest ever. Rogue's
Yeah,
pretty
what?
hard.
Hunter is way harder than Rogue.
You think Hunter's harder than that? Okay.
If he's not running Antonitis and he's not running Emperor, which we didn't see,
We didn't see either. I'm really curious.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
curious
what is
as
in
well.
this Freeze Mage deck that
So-
let him put 2 Kona Colds in?
if he has all this late game, Kona Cold is not the greatest against Rogue.
It really isn't.
It's like, it doesn't kill anything. It doesn't. Generally,
I've fatigued a lot of rogues out, though, but he does
Yeah.
have the South Sea.
fatiguing
so-
a Rogue, though, Kona Cold's not going to let you fatigue a Rogue.
It just stalls 1 turn.
Yeah, stalls 1 turn, which doesn't really accomplish much against a Rogue. You either want to be killing their minions or killing them. Those are the 2 different ways you win against Rogue. You kill every single minion they have to offer, then they can never hit their oils and they just die.
Yeah.
Or you kill them and then they're dead.
I don't think he's going to kill the rogue, actually.
Yeah, he
With
doesn't have enough
Earthen
burn.
Ring and,
Yeah.
and Healbot and Lotheb,
Yeah.
you can't take an aggressive line, I think.
So now he needs to try and figure out how to kill every minion using Kona Cold.
Yeah.
So
All
that's
right.
kind of interesting.
Well, before we jump into the next match, our host for the day, Frodan, has actually been competing against the world today. He's been hanging out with some people in the crowd. You can see Raynad there next to him as well. He's been fighting against some of the other players who are here to enjoy some Hearthstone. And actually, Dan is having a little trouble. He's down 0-1 against the world right now. So he needs all the help he can get. He called over his Tempo Storm brother Raynad to help him. They're trying to tag team it. But you can see on your screen there, the world who plays for Team Archon.
I really like the world's lineup.
That is...
you know, it's really innovative, bringing 3 of the same class in Conquest, but I think Hunter, good pick.
Yeah, oh, look at Dan. He is really upset. He might want to queue up some Hunter of his own. Oh, he's actually playing Shaman.
Is it Mech Shaman now?
Yeah, I can't even see his cards, but you know what? Good luck to Dan today. He's going to need all the help he can get.
I'll put my money on the Hunters.
Yeah, me too.
Hunter's pretty good.
Dan, he just exclaimed and had a little bit of a fit of rage over there in the player area. Probably just got smorked down once again.
Yeah, playing against all Hunters will get to you like that. That's really rough.
Yeah, it's like ladder.
Yeah, like ladder.
Yeah.
That's the world, right?
That's the world.
The world is the ladder. All right, well, it looks like we are going to jump into the next match between Demigod and Koyuki. Once again, Koyuki is down 2-0 in this matchup. Demigod has 3 opportunities to win with this freeze mage.
Yep.
Yeah. So Koyuki going again with the Warrior. Even after the little mishap, he's still getting up and trying to play Warrior again. So hopefully he's able to regroup and play like he was playing the previous series. He played really, really well in his first series of the day today. And it's interesting that he actually made a mistake like that.
Yeah. We were talking about how the patron turns, you don't really have enough time to count.
Yeah, the rope did hit that turn.
And that showed.
Yeah. Something that we haven't talked about yet is sometimes being in that little player room can be a little bit intimidating.
Yeah.
There's like white noise being pumped so the players can't hear. They have these big headsets on. The only people in that room are like the referee who's standing off to the back and then the person you're playing against.
Yeah.
So really you only have like your own thoughts that are like keeping you busy and like the attack animations. Yeah. And so you sort of sometimes you can get lost in your own thoughts and miss things that you shouldn't have. So it can be tough.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's definitely a lot harder than it looks. I've been there before, and like I'm sure everybody that's played like competitive Hearthstone has made some stupid mistake in their life. So you can't be too hard on anybody for making any sort of silly mistake.
Okay, well, what are you looking for in this matchup as far as the freeze mage goes in order to take Grim Patron?
Not all of your secrets like this.
Yeah.
That's not what you want.
A lot of these matchups tend to go to fatigue, and the warrior pushes the mage to a really low health total but doesn't kill them, and then they fatigue out through the ice blocks.
Yeah.
So ice block sometimes is a dead card.
Yeah, sometimes it does absolutely nothing, and the warrior just rides off of its armor to win in fatigue.
And he drew 2 ice blocks.
Yeah, that's
not good.
There's no matchup where you want to draw 2 ice blocks. Generally, you never want to draw ice block ever. You just want to get it off Scientist.
I really wouldn't play Armor Smith here. I don't know if he was just faking that. I would think so.
Yeah, you want to save Armor Smith for the later stages of the game when you can combine it with a Whirlwind effect and a large board to gain tons of armor.
Right. Especially when you know your opponent plays like Acolytes. He does have the weapons to kill those.
You guys keep in mind, for those of you who may just now be joining us, this is the winner's match of Group A. So both of these players won their first match in Group A. The winner of this match moves directly into the round of 8 on Sunday, so the playoff stage. And since both these guys have won their match today, the loser, so if Koyuki falls in this game, actually still has another chance. They'll just move down to the deciding match of the group stage. So he won't be out of it if he drops this match. But I'm sure that getting that 2-0 victory out of groups is something that players really, really strive for because it makes your day a lot easier.
Yeah, and then they would even have a rest day tomorrow.
Yeah.
And this would be a huge statement for Demigod to come out as relative unknown and sweep the first group.
Yeah, it'd be very impressive. Wow, this freeze mage draw
Yeah.
is just gross.
The cards you do want
None of those
are the ones we literally haven't seen from his deck.
Yeah.
Emperor and Archmage are critical.
We haven't seen
That's
those
true.
in
That's
his
very
deck
true.
yet. We don't know if he's even running them. But he needs to start cycling off that Acolyte and draw towards them. So I'd like to see the Acolyte ping here.
Yep.
I'm thinking, okay, so what cards would he cut to make his matchup better against Handlock, which he said he was targeting? I'm like, Archmage tonight is fantastic against
Yeah, it's
Handlock.
really good against Emperor is the nuts against Handlock.
Yeah.
We didn't see any anti-handlock cards in this list.
Yeah, I have no idea how his lineup beats Handlock, but
That's what he told me.
maybe he's trying to trick you so you would say it here.
Whoa.
So that everyone else would.
It was when I was in the players' lounge and there was people eavesdropping over us.
Demigod.
So maybe
He's being sneaky.
he raised his voice a little bit. He said, "Oh, I'm trying to counter Handlock." Wink, wink.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that makes sense. Because it just very coincidentally, it seems, really is good against Hunter. All of it. Just really good against Hunter.
Yeah.
Like Seal of Lights, Double Cone of Cold. Like, there's no way he wasn't thinking about Hunter at all.
I think he's going to Arcane Intellect, right?
Yeah, drawing 2 cards. Pretty good.
Could have done that first, but I mean, I think he's almost always going to Ice Block there.
Yeah.
What?
It's not like Mad Scientist where you want to proc it first or use the secret first because it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, he drew 3 secrets this game, not what you like.
And no Mad Scientist.
Yeah, that happened in his other games too. No Mad
Emperor
Scientist.
is pretty good.
Oh,
Is
yeah?
it?
When
Is
you
that
got-
good?
When you got 10 cards in your hand,
Even the coin will cost -1.
It's not going to reduce mana on the coin.
well, it does.
Awful play.
If you get Lotheb, the coin's only going to cost 4
Yeah, it costs -1 after the Emperor
So
Thor's in.
you coin for 4
to gain 1 back.
to gain 1 back. Is there a situation that's good?
Well, if you need to like combo and eviscerate or something.
Or check for counter
we're a
spell before
warrior.
you're lethal.
Yeah, but as a warrior, no.
There's got to be
No.
a situation.
I can't really. Maybe proc a Wild Pyromancer to enable Battle Rage.
Whoa. Or super hilarious BM.
Yeah, something.
There you go. The 4 mana coin BM
Yeah.
that otherwise would not be possible without Emperor Thorson.
The coin for 4 mana, then emote oops, and then kill him anyway.
Nice.
Oh man.
Did you just fireball here?
You probably can't leave up a 10-card Emperor twice.
Yeah, it's generally bad.
Like almost all of the warrior cards cost 2 or more, so the second activation will get a lot of mana still.
Yeah.
It sucks because Fireball is 6 damage is not going to the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could Cone of Cold and Ice Lance.
Yeah, I would have used mana more efficiently too.
And
In
Cone of
fact-
Cold's not that useful in this matchup because it only does 1 damage and it could spawn more Grim Patrons. I mean, you could set it up for AoE the following turn.
Yeah, I think I would have liked that play, kinda.
Looking back, he could have also, instead of Arcane Electing, or rather,
Yeah,
instead of Ice Blocking
he
last
could
turn,
have
he could have Doomsayered preemptively
Yeah.
going into the turn 6, which is a pretty common play,
Yeah.
just to deny that Emperor Thorson on curve.
Sure.
So he's thinking he needs to armor up as much as possible because at the
Right.
end of the day, you guys said it comes down to sort of a fatigue matchup where armor, I mean, it's effective life
Yeah.
in advance.
Yeah, and he already got a Fireball out. We don't even know if he plays Archmage. Like,
Yeah.
if
It'd
he
be
doesn't
so
play
weird
Archmage,
if
this
he
game's
doesn't.
over already.
Yeah, this game's done if he doesn't have Archmage.
How many cards did he have left in that game when we didn't see Archmage? Was it like 3?
Well, we saw him
He
play
played two
two
games.
games where he went through 20 cards both games.
The
probably.
main issue we had was we saw Blizzard, 2 Cone of Colds,
2 Blizzards.
Healbot,
Yeah, 2 Blizzards.
2 Blizzards.
One Flame
Like,
Strike.
what could you cut?
Yeah, that's the
That
tricky
was
part.
the main question.
There's one Loot Hoarder, because we've seen it very low frequency.
You know, what Crypt thought it would be was second Ice Lance, and we haven't ruled that out yet. It's weird.
That is
But-
pretty weird.
I've learned never to doubt the
Wait,
Crypt.
Ice Lance is so good against Handlock. Like, it's one of the best cards against Handlock.
Yeah.
None of these
I
cards
don't
make
know.
sense
Have we
against
seen-
Handlock.
I don't know.
We have seen Blood Mage Thanos, right?
Yeah.
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 We had to have.
Actually-
that's
Wait,
just better
wait,
than
wait.
Loot Hoarder.
We haven't. We've seen one Loot Hoarder, no Blood Mage so far.
What if he doesn't have the dust to play Blood Mage Thanos?
I mean, he's an up-and-comer through the opens, maybe. He's
Oh,
just
man.
showing y'all you don't even need fancy legendaries to
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good story then.
win. Yeah.
This is the best story of the tournament. What are the cards in Demigod's Freeze Mage
Yeah.
deck?
Maybe in Hawaii the types of handlocks are different.
Yeah.
Maybe you need that Seal of Light.
Well, maybe. Maybe they're...
Have we seen 2 Ice Barriers?
No, he drew Ice Block off of Scientist very frequently.
Yeah.
Okay,
true.
that could be it. We will find out pretty soon.
Yeah.
Oh
Because,
man,
like, he drew 100% of the time he got Ice Block off Scientist.
such a fun guessing game.
So he can play most of his hand here.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Battle Rage against Freeze Mage is you don't want to Battle Rage for too much. Like maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah. Or just Battle Rage for, yeah, like 1 card.
I mean, if you draw it really late, you don't Battle Rage.
The cheaper Warsong commander here.
Yeah, the War Songs are actually extremely important.
Yeah, definitely. That's your
It's-
only way to deal
Especially with
damage.
no Grom.
Yeah.
That those are your only sources of damage.
Looks like he's going to make a lot of patrons here.
Will we get
Oh,
a
no, he's going to
secret?
go with the Battle Rage first. 2-card Battle Rage.
No secret, that's it.
Yeah, all right, so
Okay.
there's 1 Ice Barrier.
One
Yeah.
Ice Barrier.
So that sort of,
which is bad against Hunter.
yeah, the first
Yeah,
thing
that's
that we
awful
found.
against Hunter. Why does he have 2 Kona Colds then?
Big handlock boards.
Well,
I mean, it freezes giants, I guess.
Yeah.
The early giant, you can stall him out a lot.
Handlock is one of the easier classes to play around cards like Kona Cold, though.
still no Archmage,
Yeah.
still no Emperor.
Yep.
Not crossed off quite yet.
Yeah.
And the Pyroblast, which is weird, because I would definitely cut Pyroblast before cutting it to Nidus or Emperor.
So this makes a lot of sense from Koyuki that he went for the commander turn right before the Alex from his opponent.
Yeah,
Because if your opponent Alexes you, that means that they don't get to clear your board.
he's getting a lot of armor this turn.
Yep. Both fireballs gone. We know Demigod only has 14 points burn in his hands.
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
Interesting he didn't play the Warsong commander that turn. He could have got a lot of damage in with that first Warsong.
The frothing?
I mean, Frothing, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I think the initial goal was like, oh, I'm just going to try and gain as much as armor possible this turn. And
Yeah, now he sees the Frothing and he's like,
like,
wait
oh,
a minute.
So another small misstep. Gonna cost him 2 damage.
Yeah, he doesn't seem very phased by it.
Yeah,
so
this
that's
one's
good.
not nearly as big of a deal.
Yeah.
Still in very good position.
Yeah, he's going to want to trade into the Alex first, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, and here comes Robe.
Yeah, he's running out
We
of time
talked about
here.
this. This is
Oh, he's going to miss the Cruel Taskmaster. He's going to save it for the next Frothing.
sketchy.
How much damage?
You should attack with the largest first to the smallest. But he's just going right to left. Get in there. And
Yeah, with the Cruel Taskmaster, he could have added another 3, 4, 5 damage.
would have popped the block.
It would have popped the block, so...
Yep.
Even if he had just played the Frothing Berserker first.
Yeah,
Again,
even if he played the
Not a
Frothing.
huge deal. But
Not a huge deal to pop the
popping
block.
the block. That's pretty big.
yeah,
Well,
but
okay, it's not as bad
the
as
freeze mage
not
has
winning.
no pressure right now. None.
Yeah, it's not as bad as the last one, but you got to pop the block here.
Yeah. So already, the first patron player of the tournament, we're seeing Robe. A huge
Yeah,
deal.
Patron's not easy. There's a lot of decisions, and when you're under pressure, it can be really tough to do things fast enough.
Yeah.
That's why, like Zalay and like me, like Zalay has told me he's like the patron warrior of Archon. Really, he's
Right.
our guy. He's just kind of like, yeah, just like go for it.
Yeah,
Start
you,
doing
you
stuff.
just have to go for it.
Yeah.
You just start doing things, and if it ends up looking like it's probably lethal, then try and kill him.
Yeah. You lock Zalay in his room and say, you better play 100 Patron Warrior games today.
He does it with enjoyment on
Okay.
all 3
That's good.
servers.
That guy's crazy.
He loves just grinding patron warrior all day.
Well, I mean, at the Legendary Series Season 1 final, Zalay took 3rd or 4th place. He was the 3rd or 4th place tied, and he
Yeah.
actually put Frothing Berserker in his Control Warrior. That's how much he likes the card. So.
Yeah, and he ran deck like Combo Lock, which is like with the arcane golems and the power whelmings
Yeah,
and
yeah.
faceless. So he loves the bursty damage counting.
Yeah.
I'm just happy we get to see him draw more cards. That
Yes,
way we
we
get
can
to
figure
the
this out.
chance of him having those 2 cards gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah. It's at like 1% chance that he has those cards now. It's
I think
pretty
it's like
ridiculous.
probably between 5 and 10%.
Oh, I see
We
how it
haven't
is.
seen it like in 3 games of going through 20 plus cards.
Yeah.
He needs this Doomsayer to resolve, and right now there actually isn't an answer to it.
Yeah.
Well, he could draw an
That
answer,
is
but
crazy. I think you have to Battle Rage.
whoa.
Well, now he's on the back
But
foot.
then you can die in fatigue.
You can die in fatigue, but if this Doomsayer resolves, you're really mad.
Are you though? You probably win in fatigue anyway, right?
Probably. So that's kind of the option you have to weigh here. Oh, wait.
He would have had too many cards.
Oh, okay, okay. Could have also coined first.
Oh, the Shield Slam.
That'll do it for sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a lot of armor.
That's a
potential.
lot of non-removal cards. Like he missed both executes,
Oh, the
only
heart.
drew 1 shield slam. He has like 6 cards left and half of them are removal.
Yeah. All right. So as the freeze mage has enough stalls to kind of
No problem.
freeze this
Can
board
you
for a
pop
while.
this turn with like a slam on something? You'd have to do.
Oh, if he played the frothing first and then slammed something.
Man.
Yeah, he
Yeah, but he
missed.
couldn't have done that.
Yeah, could have instead of the Cruel Taskmaster. Oh no, because he didn't
No,
have the
'cause he
slam
did that
yet.
before.
Yeah, he didn't have the slam yet. So there's
Yeah, there's
There's
no
no
way
way.
to pop here.
yeah,
It's unfortunate.
yeah, that's kind of unlucky.
Demigod looks a little bit stressed.
Oh, I would be too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He needs something to deal with his board.
Yeah, he.
And he's getting popped if he can't freeze the face.
So
Oh, we
there's-
can count that out.
There's Blood Mage.
Yeah.
2 + 1 is 3.
Whoa!
So Blizzard clears the board.
Okay, but it gives him 7 armor.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
And you get popped. So
And you
that's,
get popped.
I mean,
unless
he-
you ice Lance face.
He just drew
you-
7 cards. Okay, we can get a card count here. I believe
9 and
Yeah,
6.
9 and 6.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's not enough for the freeze mage to really win in fatigue.
No.
So
He plays Healbot. He already used Alex.
Yeah,
Usually you have to
Healbot's
Alex yourself.
yeah, and then heal bot usually.
But then usually you have to Alex them to have enough damage. So it's like,
Well-
what can you do?
when you Alex them, usually you commit to the burn plan.
Yeah, and
So
the
you-
burn plan never works in this spot.
Yeah, the burn plan's done here, so there's no way. So if you're not going to be able to kill them with burn, then you have to commit to Alexing yourself and then using the heal bot on yourself. Otherwise, you just can't win in fatigue because you guys start fatiguing at a relatively around the same time, and then they just have 30 armor.
Yep. He's getting towards that point.
Yeah. He's got another armor smith still.
Runs out on me.
Oh my goodness.
So we talked about information, and at this point, Demigod's pretty much out of this game.
Yeah, he could concede here.
So like, I probably wouldn't give away too much at this point. You're dead.
Yeah, if he is running Antonidas and Emperor, he should hide him. But I really want to see him.
Yeah, I just want to see him draw them.
Yeah.
Just please have them in your deck. They're pretty good cards.
They're really good.
Well, so far he hasn't needed them, so
Yeah.
he's probably thinking that his choice was justified, if that is the choice that he
Whoa.
decided to make.
He's
Acolyte's
using-
sketchy here.
Using the Warzone Commander is sketchy here because that heal bot's going to come into play.
Yeah,
and,
because he could have popped without it.
Yeah, he could
just
pop,
with
he
his
just
face.
Vorax him in the
Yep.
face.
I think his plan is just to gain absurd amounts of armor. Like, I don't think anything else is being factored
Mad
in.
scientist.
Sure. I think it's a game plan that's going to work, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Emperor. There it is.
there's Emperor. He runs Emperor.
7 cards left.
So there has to be an Archmage.
There just
There's
has
got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go in pairs, so I've heard.
Oh,
Oh, yeah?
cool.
Where do they travel in pairs at?
Freeze Mage.
Freeze Mage. That's just a place. The mystical land of Freeze Mage.
Well, there you go. We've hit the 30 armor mark. 31 armor.
TJ's over here rubbing his hands. He's
I
like,
love
"Oh, yeah."
armor. Armor is my favorite thing.
Why is that?
I wasn't prepared for that question. It just is, okay?
Okay.
Don't question it.
Yeah.
Well, you can play Emperor Thorsan here, but it doesn't.
I would hide it.
I would hide it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't been drawn in any of your other Freeze Mage games. Why show it now?
I would just try and see how high we can get his armor.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah. Reverse kill him.
Yeah. You know, I don't care about, like, actual real-life fatigue on myself for playing a lot of Hearthstone and maybe making mistakes. I just feel like seeing how much armor I can give him.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
Ice Lance him.
What if potentially like you give him enough armor that like numbers get like too big and then like the bit
Oh,
wraps around
yeah.
or whatever.
Okay.
And then it turns negative and they die.
New win
sort of
condition.
thing. Something like that. Just go for that out.
Yeah.
We actually have people from the Blizzard team here in the audience, and I saw them all just scurry out of the door because they're like, "Oh no, they figured it out."
Wait, don't draw. Why? I don't think he can lose. What's he drawing towards though? Why?
He's, I don't know. Maybe see how much fatigue he can take before he wins.
I like how this game is like a joke now for both players.
Oh, there's 2 Ice Lances.
All right, Crip, you were wrong. Sorry.
Still yet to see Antonidas.
Yeah. I'm a little worried for him.
So there's 1 Loot Hoarder, 1 Barrier.
That's pretty much what he cut
And
for second
two-
Kona Cold, second heal bot, or second Kona Cold, and
Are you guys
first heal
sure
bot.
there were 2 blizzards?
No.
No.
Okay. I only saw one.
You know
We've
what,
only seen
Shaki?
one this game.
I'm
I
not
was
sure
watching
of
the other
anything
games, too.
anymore.
I don't even know.
Okay.
All right, it might just be 1 loot hoarder, 1 blizzard, 1 heal bot, 1
You could-
or 2 Kona Colds.
You could pyroblast that armor smith to send a message.
It's worth considering.
Get out of my game. You
Yeah.
and your 37 armor.
Yeah, I don't know. So what? 5 or 6 cards remaining for Demigod here with the mage.
Yeah, I think 5 maybe.
I'm not sure.
And Koyuki at 2 or 1.
Yeah, I think the only reason he would stay in the game would be, without
no.
conceding, would be if he had the Archmage Antonidas.
Do you ice lance him again?
Yeah, but you can't. If you're Emperring here, you can't hope to win with Antonidas because you're not Antonidasing cards. So.
And he
He knows
just
this
used,
isn't going to resolve because shield slam.
yeah.
So we are going for the give him as much armor as possible plan.
Maybe it wraps around.
Well, he's out of cards, so maybe Demigod thinks that he might be able to pull out a miracle victory with fatigue. I don't know.
A lot of players in these circumstances, you'll just, you know, you don't want to give up.
Yeah.
You know, why? So Koyuki is just, you know, jamming through all this stuff. Flame strike off the top. Flame strike off the top. Pops the block. Heal bot?
Could work.
Huh?
Yeah.
But he's going to develop after the Flame Strike is the problem.
We don't talk about
He's going to develop 3 damage, actually.
Yeah,
exactly.
but those actually kill him.
Yeah, but it's 3 damage. That kills the mage first.
No, because he heal bots.
Oh, because the heal bot, yeah.
Theoretically.
Oh, wrong order.
Oh, wrong order.
Oh, well.
Well, he
Man, Demigod is the worst at drawing cards in the right order.
He can pyroblast the frothing.
Emperor's always at the bottom. Mad Scientist never at the top.
Yeah.
Never lucky.
Yet he's still 2-0 up in a series and had a victory in his first match.
Maybe he's a pretty good player.
I would definitely say so, Jockey.
Alright, so he's going to develop Emperor,
So
try and
if-
sort of force a trade. But the other Shield Slam, he
If
knows...
he does have another Blizzard, this enables Healbot Blizzard.
Ah, that's what he's doing. That makes sense. I was going to say, because he
Or
knows...
Kona Cold. That works.
Yeah, true.
But actually, never mind. It doesn't really work with patrons.
Yeah, Kona Cold doesn't work with patrons. So it needs to be the second Blizzard. So second Blizzard off the top.
That is the only out here. Or Frost Nova if he has another one.
No, I
don't
think he's
think he
used
does.
both. Yeah.
I don't know if it's really an out, to be honest.
I think it's to keep on playing.
Oh, wrong order, exactly.
If you would have drawn them in the other order, you'd be alive for another turn.
Some guy on Reddit's going to do the math on if he would have won had he drawn in the right order.
It's probably under 1%. Alright, well, is he dead?
He's not dead.
He's still alive. Never mind, he gets to keep
But
playing.
now he goes to 1, which means fatigue kills him instantly. So now the odds of him winning are virtually none,
Yeah.
especially with that axe.
3 cards left. 3.
That's not even close to enough.
Well, no, I'm still the Archmage
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Archmage
Yeah.
Antonidas, yeah.
So over/under on seeing Archmage Antonidas.
Yeah.
I mean, originally, like, back in the day, Freeze Mages didn't play... They're not back in the day that old, but, like before GVG...
Oh!
They didn't run it. Oh, yep, there
There
it is. He runs
it
it.
is!
Okay.
Oh,
Success!
man. Well, he knows he's dead because there's
There's a
definitely a
death
second
bite.
death spite in that deck.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting Patron Warrior with only one of
Wow.
those.
You know, it was a lot closer than we thought it would be.
All right.
It still wasn't close at all.
Well, after
Right.
what seemed like a super long match, Koyuki is finally going to put himself on the board in this series. Going to take a win, but he's got 2 more to go if he wants to take this series.
Yeah. But I think that win's really good for him. I think that's important as a mental thing.
Yeah.
Like, after the little mishap in the one series, now you've got your win under your belt. You've got Patron Warrior out of the way. You don't have to deal with math anymore. So you're just good to go for the rest of the series.
He had a
Yeah.
lot of time to kind of get over his mistake in that
Yeah.
match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really good.
From now on, as long as he can count to 30, he'll be good.
Rogue
Yeah.
versus
That's-
Freeze Mage involves a lot of math still, though.
Yeah, that actually does involve a lot of math. But now he's prepared. He's had his one mistake, and now he's back in it. He's taken this long time to recover because that match was grueling and took forever.
Yeah.
And now he's all ready to go.
Yeah, and I mean, Demigod, on the other side of the coin,
Yeah, he
that
was just
math wasn't good for him.
Yeah, he was losing for the last like
Yeah,
45
you're
minutes
just losing
or so.
for like 30 minutes straight.
That could not have been fun.
No.
So that could be kind of a mental thing.
It's not like he was forced to play
Yeah.
for 30 minutes. Like 15 of those minutes, he probably could have
Right.
just conceded out, and we would have said, okay, that was a good concede, but
Yeah, the infamous Freeze Mage versus Warrior
Yeah.
must happen every tournament.
it wasn't even a control war either. But he
had
still got
shield
the
blocks.
ridiculous. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
he had shield blocks. But yeah, this is like the combo patron, I guess.
I guess all the armor tools besides Shield Maiden are in that patron warrior anyway, so
Yeah, he's very heavy on the armor.
yeah.
So what's the next matchup? The matchup was Hunter now. Hunter
Yeah.
against the Mage.
So saving Rogue for last.
Yeah, I think the Hunter is going to have a really hard time
Yeah,
with the Kona Colds, with the extra tech against the faster
it's not a
darts.
very good list for beating it.
You sure you're not thinking of handlock? Come on now.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
giants. He's got a lot of tech against him.
Yeah, you can really deal 1 damage to those giants and slow them down a little
Yeah,
bit.
just think if he has a True Silver, Consecrate, and Seal of Light, he can take out a single giant.
Wow, that's
Whoa.
incredible.
And heal for 6.
So it's a
Yeah.
full pitch from
While
Koyuki.
taking 8.
Yeah, while taking it.
And
He's thinking about keeping Heal Putt off the mulligan.
yeah, it's not that good early.
I
You
don't like
need
it.
it eventually.
Eventually, you can.
But-
If you never hit your ice barrier, which we've seen,
Yeah.
he only runs 1.
Now, this is the first time Demigod's had a Mad Scientist in his opening hand. Gotta be
No,
feeling good
he had
about
one
that.
earlier, and he got the block off of it against Trump.
Okay.
And then he got block instead of barrier, and then Trump was able to just draw all the burn
It's the
and kill
first
him.
time this match, Fireback. Come on.
This match, yes.
He's also keeping Kona Cold, which is
I mean,
probably
this,
something he has more experience with.
I
I haven't played with that card in a while.
played like 3 games with it, and I was like, nah.
Very average card.
Yeah.
You know, it's
not
not going
exciting.
to blow your opponent out.
What are the strengths and weaknesses? Like, why would you? What class would you take Kona Cold in against, and when would it sort of be phased out?
I like it against aggro, sort of just to slow the game down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
And against control, like, you don't really need that many freezes, because most of the time where Kona Cold would be practical, you just let him hit you in the face for like 5 or whatever, because they don't really deal enough damage for it to matter, because they don't have the burst potential.
See, the interesting thing to me is he took out an Ice Barrier, which heals you for 8. And Kona Cold rarely heals you for more than 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not a guaranteed heal, because you can silence the freeze.
He put in Heal Bot, which heals you for 8 for 5, where Ice Barrier heals you for 8 for 3 or 0.
Yeah.
So,
It's a weird choice.
It's like Healbot usually is added on to the 2 ice barriers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
because
get
you want more
You
heal.
want
More heal.
heal. You don't usually substitute the 2, so it's interesting to see how it's going to work out for him.
I could see Freezing Trap hitting play here. It very rarely gets value in this matchup.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is one of the times where it actually does pretty good work.
You don't want your opponent to get free value out of Mad Scientist as well.
So he did keep that heal bot. We'll see how that pans out.
Well,
I
I was talking to him again, and he said he was disappointed that he didn't draw into his heal bot in the last match he played against Hunter against Trump.
Well, of course,
Yeah.
when you're dead, you're
Yeah.
disappointed
Yeah,
you didn't have a
You're
heal.
like, yeah, I want the heals.
Yeah, but those kind of things play into your mind.
It does,
To him, he's
definitely.
thinking, "Oh, I lost because I didn't draw into heal bot against Hunter," and so now he's like, "Oh, I have
And
to
then
keep
the
heal bot
game-
against Hunter."
The game just gives him the opportunity. It's like, hey, here's the heal bot.
Yeah.
How are you going to turn it down?
No, you can't. It's impossible.
Lothub's good, but it might... This is the type of hand it might have to be played on curve.
Yeah.
Which isn't as powerful.
I like Lothab on curve against Freeze Mage.
And Healbot is a good response to Lothub on curve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad.
One of the few pluses it has over
Yeah.
Ice Barrier.
Why is playing Lothab on curve better against Freeze Mage than other classes?
Because they generally can't do anything. Like, it locks down their entire turn. They don't have minions to play usually.
Yeah.
Especially going into their turn 5, they literally have like nothing they can play unless they run Healbot. Then they can play Healbot.
Yeah.
A lot of times, it was said before, like they're playing solitaire.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody was playing solitaire and you went up to their computer and said, I don't know.
Said what?
I don't know enough about solitaire.
Everyone got quiet for your story and then just nothing.
I was gonna say, and they put a Lothab in your solitaire game. Like, what is the analogy for Lothab in solitaire?
What's the end game to that joke?
I thought I would catch it along the way.
Oh my gosh.
But then it was like,
That was great.
if somebody came up to you and put a blindfold on you for a turn.
Or if they just unplug the
Solitaire.
computer.
It's actually really good that knife hit the face.
Yeah,
Like, that denies the
trap.
secret.
which
Yeah.
could be barrier. He really needs to get that barrier out if it is barrier.
And going back to Lotheb, the one turn you really don't want to play it is turn 7 going into their 8 because that lets them Frost Nova.
Yeah, so they actually have a play. Weapon's a pretty good pickup here. So you can just...
Is it?
Yeah, you just start getting in the face damage. Just glaive
Yeah,
Zuka and
I'm
go
really
face.
disappointed that this Doomsayer went off.
I mean, it
if
often
I'm
goes
Koyuki.
off. It often goes off against Hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Unless you,
suppose so. You never want to put 7 burn into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you often run one Owl, and that's it to silence the Doomsayer in a deck that has no card draw. So,
Yep, so here goes face, but with Healbot, with a secret,
Yeah,
I
if
mean-
that's barrier, it could be a
Whoa!
that is nothing. That's
Yeah.
a blank.
Vitality Totem.
Vitality
He'll
Totem.
have
The
plenty
top
of time.
deck.
And that's huge.
Vitality-
Especially with the barrier.
The barrier is key too. Holy smokes. So much health now, and he gets the Emperor right off the top to
That's,
play onto an empty board because the Shredder minion was just a miss.
That's huge for Demigod. Everything going his way right now.
Yeah. Like, every bit of RNG that could have went his way just went his way that turn. That's incredible.
Vitality Totem either doesn't matter at all,
Oh, it's
or
getting
it
in
wins
there.
you games. Oh, yuck.
What does it say when it attacks? Like, what's the sound?
Oh, let's see. Shh, shh. What? What even is
It
that?
doesn't even do anything.
It did something.
It sounded like a light breeze.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it sounded like.
That's it.
It's like a small breeze is pushing the Vitality Totem into somebody's face. So somebody, we had a little conversation about this in one of Legendary Series weeks, and people have seen it now because there was a video on YouTube by a content creator. What is Leok? What kind of creature is he?
Is it a bat?
You would
I
say
don't think
that.
it's a bat.
It's close,
Is it
actually.
like a wyvern?
Yeah, it's a wyvern. Yeah,
Yeah.
someone tweeted at me earlier today. Dan said it was a lion mixed with a hawk, which is actually pretty close. But I
Yeah.
think it's a lion mixed with a bat.
Alright, well,
You were
I was
close.
half right.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Lotheb not being too good in their Frost Nova turn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I was because he didn't take the Lotheb opportunity earlier, because he had better options there. He's kind of stuck with it now.
Yeah. I don't see a way Koyuki wins.
Yeah, that Emperor off the top.
I mean, the hero power can always. Well, it just has left to use it. The hero power can always put
Yeah.
Freeze Mage on the clock if they don't draw on any of their burn. Like if the Freeze Mage just has a bunch of duds, if their card draw on their burn is in the bottom part of their deck. But we can already see as Alex Straza as a defensive, or even he might even use it offensively in this matchup. And he has Power Blast, which is part of the burn. He has Heal Bot. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's-
I think.
Well, he has no way to. Right now, Demigod doesn't have any good clears in his hand.
Yeah, but you get a lot of draws off that Acolyte with the
Yeah.
the 1 damage Vitality Totem. I'd probably bounce the Loot Hoarder and start drawing a card a turn.
Yeah, that would be really good. I don't really like
Uh,
bouncing this. Also, I would go face because Snakes could be kind of a bummer. Actually, Snakes is really good, actually. So yeah, definitely go with the minion because you can
Yep,
fill his
so-
board up completely and freeze
He
it.
figures it out. Just took
Yeah.
a little bit of thinking.
Um,
Gonna take some extra damage.
think I
Maybe
would've
setting up
taken-
for a Blizzard.
Yeah. Or even just
Yeah,
like Kona
Blizzard,
Cold.
I
Setting
guess.
up for the Kona Cold potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
all right, that makes sense.
Ultimately, he will be getting 2 draws over 2 turns, regardless.
Runs out on
Could have got 3 though.
Eventually, yeah. But I mean, this game's going to kind of be determined within the next few turns.
You never know with Freeze Mage, man.
I think you surely Frost over here.
Yeah, I don't think you want to eat all this.
Like you said, the one thing he's lacking is an actual board clear.
So yeah, you don't want to take any damage.
Kona Cold helps stall another turn,
Yeah.
and past that, I mean,
Huh.
It's not the worst.
No, it's 6 damage over a couple of turns, so he can start
yeah,
putting in some face damage here.
it's a lot of false hope for Koyuki, is what it is. With
He would have rather
the
have
Healbot and
drawn-
the Alex.
He would have rather have drawn like
I've been in this spot. You're
Snake
like,
trap.
Maybe we can get there.
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
No
Yeah.
way. 8 cards going to be 9 cards with the Acolyte draw.
Yeah.
Freeze Mage hand. Here's 0.
Yeah, the heal bot's really going to be the dream crusher.
Yep. So you're sitting in Koyuki's seat, you're like, what 9 mage cards am I not dead to?
Koyuki also placed his minions very well to play around Konocold. I just noticed that.
Yeah, it's very true.
Being very aware of the double Konocold tech from Demigod.
I feel like outside of like the 2 turns where the one he missed lethal and the second one where he missed popping the block, he's actually had some really solid plays.
Yeah,
like,
he's done everything very, very well. I've been impressed.
Bring the pain.
He's gonna freeze up that Vitality Totem. That thing's not attacking next turn.
Yeah. I'm tired of taking that 1 damage to the face.
Man. Poor Vitality Totem. In other games, he would have been the MVP.
Yep.
In this one,
He's been at 30 the whole game anyway. There was a game at Game where someone won a game with Vitality Totem, right?
yeah,
It just kept
Vitality
healing and
Totem's
healing.
a bro.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
So,
Opted for the
yeah,
clear.
he's just going to kind of use that as some removal and get the healing in while he can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe.
Well,
Nope. Rip Vitality Totem. Rip.
He feels threatened.
priority kill on that guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, later in the game, if he doesn't find an opportunity to kill it, if he wants to start putting on burn, he has to like account for if he's killing him over 3 turns, he has to do extra damage each turn.
Huffer
Sure.
would have been the ultimate false soap here.
Yeah.
You'd be like, we're getting close.
Not quite.
He is through the armor.
I mean, what can he even draw? Like, kill command? The one thing that we can look out for here is there's no ice block.
I mean,
So,
Demigod could always throw an Alex Hem.
And then die to top
And
that
then
kill
die,
command.
yeah.
all right.
That would.
Whoa!
He's going to
Okay,
frostbolt his face. Quick shot into kill command does it.
Yeah.
This is actually not the safest line of play.
He's done though. He
Yeah,
just
but what
wants
else?
the game to end.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Anti-heal
just
bot.
like, give it to me. Here we
Yeah.
go. Wow. Quick
That
shot?
is really aggressive.
Oh.
Knife juggler. Oh, no.
Is there
Yeah.
any freezing traps left?
I don't
Yeah, there is.
Okay. Well, we're about to find out.
Yep, he's just immediately going to trade that.
Nothing. Oh, there we go.
there he is. It lagged. a
Yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
bit.
The spectator client, yeah. Well, he's not actually...
Yeah, he doesn't have enough damage
No?
quite yet. Not
Yeah.
enough mana to use it all anyway.
That was an interesting line of play.
You can
You can
frostbolt your own guy if
yeah,
you want.
scientist frostbolt to get ice block, and then fireball face, and then pyroblast next turn.
I like how this game got more complicated because we just went aggro.
Yeah, we just were
Just
like,
smork him.
I am tired of spending so long playing this game. Let's just kill him.
2-0, let's go eat lunch.
It is lunchtime. That's probably playing a factor.
Yeah, the hunger really got to him.
Some players are at a disadvantage when they have to play around mealtime.
At this
Yeah.
point, yeah, he can literally just clear his board.
Yeah, all right. He's setting up lethal
Okay,
with
set up lethal.
pyroblast.
That's 5. Yeah, now he only has 15 max damage with perfect draws. So that's going to do it.
15.
Wow.
Is that the double quick shot?
No, that's only, he already used a quick shot.
Oh,
So that's
the-
one quick shot into a kill command.
Okay.
There's one thing Chaki's great at. It's
Hello.
counting how much damage you can do with Hunter.
Oh, look at that BM. We get one emote.
That's
Yeah.
pretty rude. Top deck fireball.
Oh, not even going to use the top deck.
Alrighty.
He just
well,
wants to go to lunch.
Pyroblast to the face, and Demigod is going to be the first player moving out of Group A. He automatically qualifies for the top 8 on Sunday, where he will compete in that 8-player single elimination playoff stage. Big congratulations to him. And he played exceptionally well, I'd say.
Yeah.
Really good.
A lot of his games, not many mistakes.
Yeah. Koyuki, of course, he's not out. Since he did win his first match of the day, he will play in a decider match later on. So he'll play the winner of the losers match in an elimination match later on. So he'll have another chance. I'm sure he'll want to sort of regroup and maybe sort of try and forget some of the things that happened during that matchup.
So Demigod's lineup, designed to counter handlock, didn't even encounter a single handlock and still won.
Yeah.
That's
Did
pretty
really well
incredible.
against Hunter.
Really well against Hunter.
Well, it just so happens that some of the cards that he plopped in there were were great against Hunter. One of the things that was great against Handlock, of course, was the double equality in the Paladin.
Yeah.
So those are things that aren't that great against Hunter, but it was really well played by him. Do you think that lineup has any like vulnerabilities from Demigod as moving on? I know we haven't seen the decks from the other groups, but do you think there are any holes in that plan moving on to the playoff stage for Demigod?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, there's definitely, if someone doesn't have a Hunter or a Handlock, then they're going to be kind of weak to that, like Patron Warrior in the not Hunter and some other stuff.
Yeah. I mean, every lineup has its weaknesses. It's more a question of, did you read the competition correctly? And for his group, which he didn't know beforehand, but he just made a read that there'd be, a lot of
Hunters.
Handlock apparently, and also a lot of Hunters,
Yeah.
which his lineup seemed to perform very well against.
Yeah, so I think Hunter is the most popular deck so far in this tournament. So I think that's
Everyone's had one.
Yeah, every single player so far has had a Hunter, so it's a very good read by him expecting a lot of Hunters and preparing for it.
All right, well, we do have Ferdinand standing by with our winner, Demigod, on the stage. Let's send it over to them.
Thank you so much, TJ. That's right. Congratulations, Demigod. You advanced in first place in the group. To your manager and some of your teammates here, this comes as no surprise. But you said you felt a little nervous during that match, didn't you?
This whole tournament, I do have nerves, but I try to stay calm so I can make the best play out of with all the cards I have. And that Patron Warrior, holy crap, 1 HP, dude. I was like, and then I had the Seal of Light, so I thought I was okay after that because his highest weapon damage is 4, and I guess that secured that game.
Well, that's kind of like, Paladin's weakness for a long time. Not being able to finish the game and get across that the finishing line there. Just in general, did you anticipate being able to advance first place in the group, or is this come not as a surprise for you?
Honestly, I didn't even think so. This is my first big LAN tournament, and nerves take place, but I try to stay calm, like I said, and hope for the best. RNG, like I said, RNG gods, but I think I played a little skillfully as well. So I hope to prove to everyone that I can do it and make it to the top.
Don't prove to everyone. Prove to yourself, man. That's what card game's all about. If there's anything Yu-Gi-Oh taught me in terms of the cartoon show. So cool, man. You've won some money. You've got top 8. You got some world championship points. I don't know if you've been on the board yet, but that's pretty valuable. But it's awesome because now you get to go to the round of 8 and potentially threaten the tournament. So congratulations. Do you have any last words? Because this is the last time we'll see you today. You're done, so you don't have to play anymore. Do you have any final words and shoutouts?
Yeah. Thanks to my 2 teams. I'm actually on 2 teams. One is local, and yeah, it's weird, but Team Bro from Hawaii and Vicious Syndicate. They're great organizations, and thanks to my family, everyone who supported me down the lane. So hope to do my best Saturday or Sunday? Sunday. Okay. All right, and that's about it.
And aloha. All right.
There you go. I keep forgetting that.
All right. Well, aloha. That'd be the sickest BM emo because aloha also means goodbye. Yeah. They should put that in the game for sure. All right. And with that, congratulations to Demigod, but we're not done with Group A just yet. Before we go into the next portion, we also have Crip, who's joined by a special guest and also a player in this tournament.